Hi everybody, it's time for another Sing and Sign. I thought today we'd do the Bear Necessities from the Jungle Book. It's one of my favourite Disney songs. I've had a lot of fun learning how to play it on guitar and sing it, and hopefully you'll have a lot of fun singing along and doing the signs. I'll include the signs and go over them after the song, so you can listen through it, learn the signs, play it back, and practice. There's a couple of new ones that you won't have learned in college, so learning something new as well. So let's get to it. Enjoy. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, all Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. If you look under a rock and then just take a glance at the fancy ants and maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. The bare necessities of life will come to you. The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, that's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. If you look under a rock and then just take a glance at the fancy ants and maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. The bare necessities of life will come to you. So let's look at the signs individually. First of all, we've got bear, the animal a bear, which is, it's kind of like giving yourself a hug. You go like that. Okay, so you start off like that, make a couple of claws and pull in a bit. Couldn't find the one for necessities. Necessities is something you need or want, so we'll use want. The sign for want is that. So you've got a flat hand, over your heart, and then you sort of sweep out like that. So that's bare necessities. We all know look for the bare necessities, simple bare necessities. Forget, so you put your hand to your head and it's like you're throwing the thought away. So you've got the thought but then you forget it, you throw it away like that. So forget about your worries. So that's like giving a high five and then shaking it next to your head. Worries and strife. It's like being scared or troubled. So we're going to use the sign for scared. So forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. And mother for Mother Nature, as we all know, Mom. which is 3 fingers for M, and tap it twice. So mother. For nature, we're going to use a tree. So mother, nature's, recipes. Recipes is all to do with cooking. So recipes. So mother, nature's, recipes. And then that bring the bare necessities of life. Now life's quite a hard one. You hold your hand out like that, and then you put your middle finger down like that. It might be quite hard for a lot of you to do, but give it a try. You see? And then you bring it up like that. If you wanted to, if you couldn't do the middle finger thing, you could just use your hand and pull up. So yeah, bare necessities of life. Then the other bit is wherever. So that's the question where. 2 hands and sort of circle them around. Wherever I wander. So wandering about, it's just walking, isn't it? So walking wherever I wander, wherever I roam. Roaming again, it's just moving about. So walking will do. I couldn't be fonder, so I couldn't. And fond means you really like something, so I couldn't be fonder. So it's like the sign for love. Of my big home, so of my big, we all know home from home time from college, so there. So I couldn't be fonder of my big home. Then we've got the bit about the bees. So what the bees, you make a bow. So you having your binoculars on, okay? You've got your bow and then a little sting on the back of your hand. So bow, sting for bees. The bees are buzzing in the trees. And then honey, to make some honey just for me. Honey is a huh. And then it's like you're spreading jam, but it's not jam, it's honey, isn't it? So huh for honey, and then spread it. So the bees are buzzing, bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey, just for me. And then if you look under a rock, pretty sure that's rock, get a fist and then flung it down. If you look under a rock and then take a glance, a look at the fancy ants. Now ants is a new one, so you're gonna get your hand in a fist like that to make the body, and then you're going to use the legs. Okay, so body of the ant and the legs underneath it. So if you look under a rock and take a glance at the fancy ants, and then Baloo in the story says maybe try a few because he likes to eat ants. Not very nice, but we're going to use eat for try a few. So if you look under a rock and then just take a glance at the fancy ants and maybe try a few, and then the bare necessities of life will come to you. The only thing different is the next time around, he says something different. He says, look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. So go over those one more time. Got look for the bare necessities. The simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, old Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. And if you look under a rock and then just take a glance at the fancy ants and maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Okay, so take it slowly. You can ask people to help rewind the video, look for any signs you don't know. I'll practice them all first, and then you can go back to the start of the song and see if you can sign along with it. Okay? Now, that's all for this week. I think next week I did ask Life Skills 4, I believe, if they had a choice of 3 songs we could do, and Samantha asked if we could do either Three Little Birds by Bob Marley or a song called Stand By Me. And over the weekend I'm going to see which of those is easiest for us to do and try and do another one for you next week. Again, hope you're all keeping well, keeping happy and keeping safe. If you need anything at all, any help, people at home have my email and the email of teachers, so please keep in touch and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.